Hello, and welcome back to, I guess this is the second season, second series. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, of, playing Rule the Waves 3. If you're new here, we just finished up our Japanese campaign, Rise of the Dragon, that went from 1890 all the way to 1990, and it was quite a ride. Lots of good fights, lots of big battles, lots of small skirmishes. And in the end, it turned into basically a missile war, which I suppose you should expect. This time around, I asked everyone what they thought. Got some good replies from folks. We had a request for Austria-Hungary, we had requests for France. We had a couple other little requests here and there, but uh, the most mentioned and requested nation was Germany. So that's what we're going to go ahead with. And it's not like I don't think it's like a superpower like Britain and the US, but it should be a little bit more economically powerful than Japan was. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump right on in here. And if you voted for something other than Germany, just stick around for a couple months. And when this one ends, vote for the one you want, and we'll try that again because Germany and Japan will be off the list. So we're going to be Von Tiny. We're going to go for super large fleet size, 100% research, slight tech variation, harsher peace deals, 80 aircraft maximum airbase size, and we'll pick number 1 as our game slot, with number 2 being the backup save, just like we had 3 as our main and 5 as the backup for Japan. So let's jump right in. This first episode will probably be a lot of organizing and then maybe a few turns through the first year or so. But I don't really know what to expect here. And if you were embarrassed by my pronunciations of Japanese names and ships and everything else, just wait until I try to pronounce German stuff. So we've got 4 battleships. I think that's a nice upgrade from Japan. I think Japan started with maybe 1 or 2. We don't have any under construction. We got some slow cruisers, 20 knots. We got a few. We got some fast ones. This class here, this Gurfion class is 21 knots. The Amazon class is 21, and the Undine is 21. So we've got a nice little mix. Don't really know what's on them just yet. Let's take a look. So we got the Brandenburg. It's a tiny little battleship, 5,300 displacement. It has a single forward turret with 2 10-inch guns in it. It's got 3 9-inch guns on each side, and then some 6-inch tertiaries. And then we got the Zringen glass. Oh boy, pronunciations, huh? Same deal. It's actually very similar, except instead of the 6-inch tertiaries, it's got 2-inch tertiaries. The armor scheme might be a little bit different. 10-inch belt versus 7.5. So they're very similar. They're the same speed. They're short range. They got cramped accommodations. And then let's check out our heavy cruisers. So this is the uh, Venetia class. It's got 4 8-inch guns, 8 6-inch guns, 12 3-inch, 4-inch armor belt with 20 knots. Then we got the Victoria Luis class, which is a little bit smaller. So it has single 7-inch turrets front and rear, 6 5-inch guns, 8 2-inch guns. I really wish I had the skills to put together like a nice little presentation for you all, like RVT does at the beginning of his. So I was watching his channel, and at the beginning of his Germany playthrough, he had like the silhouettes of the ships and everything, and like he had all their weaponry listed and their speed. And it's like a nice chart in comparison. Here, I'm just like clicking through. Just doing my best here. So we have two Hansa class. These will be as big as our other cruisers, like our biggest other cruisers. I mean, they're serviceable for this era. They're just going to cruise around and try to shoot stuff. None of it's going to be accurate. That is another thing we have to get used to again. Is that none of our weapons are going to be very accurate at all. So we've gone from cruisers that we can stick like maybe 4 or 6 inch rapid fire guns on, and they'll cruise around popping everything, to these things where they'll have 10 6-inch guns and they'll fire off almost all their firepower before they hit anything. Okay, so these Gefyong class, these are pretty good light cruisers. 10 6-inch guns, 8 2-inch guns with 21 speed. The belt on them is lacking, but I mean that's just how it is in this era. Light cruisers are, never like super armored anyway. Here's the Amazon class, two 5-inch guns. So this one's more focused on this secondaries and tertiaries. All right. So first thing we want to do is when you go into the division editor. Actually, hang on. Let's compare Almanac. Oh boy. So Great Britain has 18 battleships with 4 more building. France has 11 with 2 building. Italy has 7 with 4 building. And Russia has 8 with 3 building. You'll note that there is no China here. Instead, we have Austria-Hungary. So those are our main people we have to worry about. Great Britain, France, Russia, and maybe the US, maybe Italy as well. We don't really have anything in the Mediterranean, but they do have an African colony, if I remember right. All right. I guess we can compare our economy. So we have base resources of 1200 and 12.5 versus 17.5, 13.2, 11.5, 12. So we're equal with Russia, yet they have so much more stuff than we do. We're way above Japan. So you can see immediately like the difference between Japan and Germany is 12.5 versus 7.4 for base resources. And then, yeah, okay. So let's go ahead, go to our division editor, and we will start setting up some divisions. So here's some battleships. So we'll want 1, 2, 3, 4 battle divisions. We'll want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heavy cruiser divisions. We'll go with 8 light cruiser divisions. And we'll go with 8 destroyer divisions. We'll go with 10 to start out with. So the first thing we want to do is, so this one's independent, so we need to make it the fleet flag. And then the second battle division will be part of that corps for the flag. The third will be independent. The fourth will go as a corps for the third. So we have 2 separate battleship forces, essentially. We got First Fleet and Third Fleet. And then the second is subordinate to first, the fourth is subordinate to the third. Now, this is the easier part where we are going to do screen for number 1. We're going to do screen for number 2. We're just going to go down the line here. Screen for number 4. And then these other 2 will be independent. We'll do the same for our light divisions. So we'll do support to keep them a little bit closer. Oops. There we go. My eyes tend to unfocus a little bit when I'm doing this. Okay. And then we'll do set division rule to support 1, support 2, support 3, and support 4. The reason why I'm doing support on my destroyers and light cruisers is because I don't want them to get too far away from the battleships. The heavier cruisers can be out ahead a little bit because they can potentially take a hit and get out of there. These other ones, like the when it generates a battle, like sometimes it puts everyone real close to each other. I don't want the destroyers out in front, just immediately getting hit. Now we need to assign. So we don't have any battleships under construction. So we're just going to do it the easy way. We're going to do number 1. Oops, hang on. There we go. So those are going to go together, and then collapse that. They're going to go in there, so they're supporting. Then we need to assign, let's see here. We'll do the 20 knot heavy cruisers there. We'll do the 19 knot cruisers here. And then this is a 20 knot heavy cruiser left over. The ones coming into play here are also 20 knots, so we'll make an independent heavy cruiser division as the home of those leftover divisions or leftover heavy cruisers. So 5th division, those other 2 heavy cruisers will go right into there probably. So we can deploy that wherever we want to. And then for escorting the first fleet, we'll do 21 knots. We'll do 21 knots. One and 21. And then the 8th cruiser division will do these 20 knot cruisers. We'll find something to do with those. Maybe those will be foreign service light cruisers. And we don't have anything else to deploy right now, so we're going to close that. I'm going to save the game because I got my organization sort of done here. Everyone's assigned to a fleet that needs to be. We're going to have a couple more 20 knot heavy light cruisers being finished soon. So those will probably go to foreign service as well. And then the escorts are just escorts. Let's build our dock size. Let's see if we need to worry about expanding any bases. Probably not. That's 20 capacity, and that's probably 5. We're not worried about the Central Atlantic or Central Pacific. Not worried about the Indian Ocean. We're not worried about Africa. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 escorts are probably fine. We have a nice little monthly balance surplus. We're at 2 unrest. Let's do our research. So let's crank it up. We're going to go with armor high. We'll go with ship design high. Naval guns high. And hull construction high. This time around, we're going for our advantage in armor development over the advantage that we had in torpedo warfare. We're doing something a little bit different this time around. We're focusing more on guns than we are on torpedoes. But we will take torpedo warfare as a doctrine to start out with, simply because we have the torpedoes on our ships already. We're going to keep putting them on there for a while, even if we are progress. We're not focusing on torpedoes as like as our our whole navy like overall like ship design philosophy essentially. But this will help us score more hits with the torpedoes because those are the ship killers in this era. So apply. We'll probably end up doing a lot of close-in runs with these light cruisers. We'll end up throwing away quite a few of them just trying to score torpedo hits. But that is the life of a light cruiser. In the meantime, we have a monthly balance of 3,100. So does that mean we could design a new ship class? Potentially. Perhaps start building up a force of like heavy cruisers or something. Use those as like the backbone of the Navy because it's going to be really hard to build good battleships with our current dock size. It's not as bad as Japan's was starting out. Japan's was like 7,000 or something, 6,000. Yeah, so we have some of the biggest docks in the world. So we potentially could build battleships, but let's wait and get a couple of technologies first, like armor weight savings, things like that. Okay, so we are down to 2,300 per month. So let's go to design a ship. Let's just see what we can do here. So we're gonna go for armored cruisers. Yep, 7,500 is pretty decent. I think the ones we're building are all like 71 or 7,200. If we went up to, we don't want to go up to 20 knots, but we do want to change the engine priority to normal so we don't break down quite as much. It carries a lot of 8-inch guns. Interesting. They are quality -1, which isn't that bad actually. We could go up to 8,000 tons, and then that would let us slap on more 5-inch guns. Like, what if we just maxed out 5-inch and then lower the number of tertiaries down to 0? So we need a lot more tonnage. We'd probably have to go up to about 10,000 tons. We're close to it. And then increase the speed to 21. That would be expensive, like really expensive armored cruisers, but a 4-inch belt, 1.5-inch deck, cruising around with some. And we could even get rid of like those there and just rely on throwing around a lot of secondary weight, essentially. So that is a potential option there. It's a potential design for the heavy cruisers. Basically, you're just uh, getting in a little bit closer than you would normally because the 8-inch guns, they're just, let's be honest, they're not going to hit anything. And then you're just pounding with the 5-inch guns, which is enough to sink anything short, really, of a battleship in this era. They wouldn't carry torpedoes, which is fine, but they'd also cost 1,500 each per month. So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and save the game just because we've got things we changed. We've got ships under construction. We'll take a look in a few months when this stuff gets closer to being done. So let's go ahead and excitingly do our first. Am I forgetting anything? No, probably not. Do our first turn. So off we go. So France is building a heavy cruiser. Great Britain's another battleship. Russia's throwing down a light cruiser. I'm not going to worry about spying on anyone just yet. I'm going to let people start getting some technologies, and then I'll start spying on them. So France is laying down ships. Nice. Private shipbuilding. So we had tension with France go down, but it went back up again. And then tension with Spain went up. I'd really hate to get into a war with France early on because they are like double our size in terms of fleet tonnage, essentially. Colonial crisis with Spain has arisen. You're asked for recommendation. This is a chance to raise tensions with Spain. We can get budget and prestige for doing so, or we can just get budget and tension. And we also get double tension with Spain. I'm actually kind of okay with tension with Spain because I do want the prestige. It's a little bit early to be making like big enemies, but let's just go for budget and tension this time around. It's still a little bit too early to push things real far. We're not ready for anything crazy yet. All right, we're looking pretty good in our ship construction. We're gonna have a decent fleet here. Yes, we'll buy French guns. 13-inch guns at -2 quality. That's one less thing to have to research for ourselves. Britain is raising their budget. In this early game, that sort of thing does like matter. Like in the late game, you can kind of skip through that screen essentially if it doesn't affect you, because it's like, oh boy, the USA built another 5 cruisers or something. Like, they're going to be gigantic no matter what. But here, where like a single heavy cruiser can make a big difference, like it actually does matter. Tension with France increases, double increases. Okay, that's not great. Would not be happy to get into an early war with France. I want to build our economy up a little bit. I don't think Germany starts to get like any sort of real budget until like years later. So yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and design our new heavy cruisers because it seems to be pushing us towards war already. So let's go with 9,000 tons. Get rid of those guns there. Not worried about torpedoes. We do want to get rid of these tertiaries. We want maximum secondary guns. Fix the engine. I mean, are we fine with 20 knots if it saves us? What would that actually do? So going up to 21, it's 1569. And we'd have to go up to, so 1583. We would want more ammo on here as well, because this is what we're relying on. So there we go. So 1598, so 1600 essentially, versus 1366. So saving around 250 per month. So right around 250 per month. What do we lose by doing that? We lose 1 knot of speed. You know, I think that's good. We could probably build 3 of these at a time if we do this. So we have 180 rounds per gun for the 5-inch secondaries. The main guns, they're 8 inches. So if they do hit something, it's going to be a nice little bonus. but we are relying on scoring hits with the secondaries. All right, we don't have to worry about anything else. Let's suggest a name. Prince Heinrich. Let's pick one. We'll go with Prince Heinrich for now. These older ships, they're named after. We'll just, our personal lore will be that they are named after like old admirals and whatnot, or old royalty. All right, don't have to worry about range. Don't have to worry about the accommodations. That is nice. We do want to keep our freeboard up because we're working on the open ocean. That was something someone suggested about Austria-Hungary, is that you can do like short-range ships with low freeboard to save a bunch of weight because the Mediterranean is basically a big lake. All right, let's go with this. 1366. So we will save. Too many and our too heavy secondary guns for displacement. Hmm. What if we go to 8500? Okay. So we go with less secondary guns. Okay. We'll have to make a little bit of adjustment here. Let's see here. We can go down in the tonnage. Son of a gun. Well, if we go up to 8,000 again, is that allowed? It's not. 8,100. It allows it, but we end up with extra weight, so we can throw that into what? A few tertiaries? We can go to 3 inch. Yeah, there's actually quality one. There we go. All right, so we're at 1340. We dropped a little bit off the cost, like 25 or 26 or something off the cost. We lost a couple of guns per side, a couple of 5 inches per side, but we gained basically five 3 inch guns per side. So what if we throw a little bit of ammo on there? There we go. Gives us a little bit of extra weight left over for future upgrades. And we'll save and finish. There we go. It's going to take 3 months to work on that. So let's go next turn. Well, we're just increasing tension with everyone. Uh-oh. So this thing's gonna be like what, 19 knots? Hmm. Well, we're losing budget no matter what. The question is, do we want to get prestige out of it with tension? We don't want to push tension with France just yet, so we will give up a little bit of budget. Okay, nothing really going on that's affecting us right now. But we're just avoiding going into an immediate war with France. We want to do our best here to avoid that. So it's funny, this one here surpassed its speed, and this one here is under speed. So what we'll do is we'll throw this one into we'll throw this one into the 7th division. We'll throw this one. Actually, we can replace the machinery on it. It'll take 10 months, but that'll get it up to 20 knots. Now, you know what? It'll be a foreign service ship. So we're going to go ahead and put it on a foreign station. we're gonna make a division for it. So we'll do a new light cruiser division. We'll do two light cruiser divisions, and then we'll go into the 10th division. There you go. So it's set to foreign service. It'll just be doing its own thing. Number number 7 there will probably be doing the same eventually. So let's push on a little bit. Great Britain, we can raise some tension with them probably and get some money. We lose prestige, but we get budget. Or we can get double tension, prestige, and budget. Let's do that. It still won't be as bad as our tension with France. All right, we just got to hope that nothing goes too sideways with Britain in the meantime. So let's go ahead and build a set of these. Let's build 4 of these Prince Heinrich class. And these will be the backbone of our heavy cruiser force. This is the British ship Philomel. This is a Philomo class light cruiser. 2 8-inch guns. Well, light cruiser, that's kind of impressive. 10 6-inch guns and 16 2-inch guns. Yeah, a little bit weird. And us being a larger power this time around, I think we'll get those messages where it's like, hey, your heavy cruisers, you have the smallest amount of heavy cruisers out of all the great powers. So, like, it's going to affect it's going to make your boss mad and affect your prestige potentially. Okay. So, we do have a little bit of budget left over here. So, let's make use of that. And let's see here. If we're going to ever have a force out here in the Bismarck Archipelago, we're going to have to build the naval base up. So let's go ahead and work on that. And we don't want our budget to get we don't want our funding to get too high anyway. Okay. Because we did learn our lesson last time around about that. So how's our dock size? 14,000 versus 15 for Britain, 14 for France, 15 for it. We'll go up one more for now. And then probably not mess with it again for a little while. Maybe. Tension with Spain's increasing. Eh, no biggie. Alrighty. Tension with Japan's going up. I think tension between Russia and Japan was like skyrocketing there for a while. Yeah, Japan's having problems with Spain and Russia right now. Like they were getting mad about the Philippines. They're getting mad about Sakhalin, whatever you call that. So we got 2 new heavy cruisers. So these are going to go into number 3, I think. There you go. Yep. And then we're actually going to add one more heavy cruiser division. We'll move that first Bismarck into it. And then when our new Prince Heinrichs are finished, they'll go into like 4 and 5 or whatever, or 5 and 6 maybe. So we have several transports. I do like having extra transports. So we're going to build a couple. They're not that cheap, are they? They're big, like 2,400 tons. Okay. So in order to save money, we're going to design a new Corvette class. We want them to be 1,500 tons so they can do colonial service. We want to get rid of most of the deck armor, actually most of the armor in general to save money. So these things will have a lot of leftover displacement, but that's okay because we get to save money by doing that. Okay, it's over gunned, so we're going to bring the guns down to 5 inch. So they're just under 200 each to build. It's going to take probably a couple thousand to research, like 3,500 or something. But I think in the long run, the money will save on the maintenance and the actual construction. Hmm. Actually, you know what? We're going to end up spending probably more to design the class than we're going to actually save. So we're just going to build one more of them. There we go. And then later on, when these things start to age out, we'll design a new set. It's been a political murder in the Balkans. What's your advice? There should be a diplomatic solution to the crisis. We're going to give up a prestige, we're going to gain some tension, but we'll get budget. So it should go, but tension should potentially go up with the four major powers here. So there we go. Yep, it went up with everyone except Russia. It looks like went up. Still not happy about our situation with France, but if we can wait until the Prince Heinrichs are finished, that'll give us a big advantage in a war. So we hit save. We need to find a way to spend a little bit of money here. So what we could do is go over here, and this is like a temporary way to spend it. And this is just a little bit of insurance against invasions and rebellions, because this will be our main Asian base for quite a while, probably. So we're going to go up. Oil has been discovered in Bermuda, of all places. So this is a Italian Castellifilidaro, Castellifilidaro heavy cruiser, 14 6-inch guns. So this is a light gun build as well, like a medium gun build. They don't carry any bigger guns on this. 8,100 tons. That's the same tonnage as our heavy cruiser. It's slower. Okay. It's also carrying torpedo tubes. All right, everyone's building ships. Oh boy, rumors of war with France already. Well, we're at about the 40-minute mark, and I don't want to keep pressing the button because war could break out if there's rumors of war with France. So it looks like we might end up in a very early war, which is, uh, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. I thought we'd have a little bit longer to prepare. We already have coastal guns here, so we're okay. Yeah, I thought we'd have longer to prepare. Honestly, I thought we'd have at least like you know, 3 or 4 years to build up a little bit. But it looks like France is pushing while we're weak. Yeah, we might get lucky and have a tension lowering event. So we'll see next time. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you who watch and follow along and comment. And even if you don't comment, I still appreciate you. I'll think of some kind of, by the time I get this uploaded, I'll think of some kind of cool campaign name or something. And I'll also go find a picture of, like, a nice black and white picture of the Bismarck or whatever to use as like the placeholder image, like when you look at the video on YouTube. And then I'll get it uploaded. And this should go live tomorrow. Well, it's past midnight here, so it should go live later today at noon Eastern time. I'll see you next time, and sail safely out there.